Glitch recently posted 2 new short animations about Pomni, Jax, and an abstracted creature, one of which they showed on Japanese billboards and the other one a shorter ad which they posted on Twitter yesterday. They had it displayed on pillars in Japan. And it seems like Japan really does get the best stuff, which makes sense because the amazing digital circus is insanely popular there. And I'm sure you're also wondering why and how is it possible that Japan got the pop-up merch store, the themed cafe, and also the early screenings of the episodes. And the answer is fairly simple. Japanese culture stands on different grounds with cartoony animated things than, for example, the US does. Obviously, the show is colorful and the characters have pretty cute designs, which in Japan is not at all categorized as only kids stuff. Now the new merch is available in arcades called Gigo, which is also for adults. And so this means that there's a huge market for these things, and it makes sense for Glitch to give the people what they want and essentially what they would pay for. But the new short ad they shared is actually pretty interesting. First we see Pomni once the exit door opens, and as she realizes that there's an opportunity to leave, she starts running like crazy. And it's really interesting because in the previous episodes we could see that Pomni slowly got used to her new circumstances, and she even accepted that she lost Gumbigu, who she once related to the most. But it seems like she still has this desire to leave the circus if she had the opportunity. And maybe this small scene could foreshadow that she'll have the opportunity again to try to escape the circus. But maybe this time she'll be more careful, because last time, as we know, she got caught by Kane when she was flying through the void. But next we can see Jax, and that he's carrying a bunch of dynamites. Once he notices that we can see him, he gets rid of the dynamites and acts like nothing happened. And I mean, this is typical Jax behavior, nothing new. However, it's really interesting to see how differently Jax and Pomni reacted to the exit door. Jax didn't even try to leave. He seemed completely unfazed by the open exit door, which makes me think about how maybe he also tried to escape. Maybe not even once, but multiple times. But as we can see, he failed, just like everyone else. Or maybe it could also be possible that Jax never wanted to leave. Goosework said multiple times that Jax deserves to be in the circus and that he's a troubled person. And maybe he's perfectly aware of this, and maybe he even accepted that he can never leave this place. And maybe this option would make more sense, because he does seem to give off more passive vibes, like he doesn't really care about this whole thing. Although we know that this is not completely true, but based on how we saw him in episode 4, it seems like he has issues with himself rather than the circus itself. But while in his human form, he might have had more opportunities to not care about himself, with like occupying himself with daily tasks or a job or dumb scrolling on his phone, I don't know. But in the circus, he only has a few options. He loves to prank everyone, as we can even see it in the short ad as well. But we also saw in episode 4 that he kinda seems tired of that. However, I also have to mention the abstracted monster that also appears after Pomni and Jax in the ad. And the fact that Glitch and Gooseworks wanted to include it in both these short animations makes me think that abstraction will definitely play a big part in the upcoming episodes, and maybe it could even be a foreshadowing to one of the circus members getting abstracted. Like, what if this abstraction is actually Ragata? However, if we also look at the longer animation, which Glitch also posted on their Twitter with the official translations, we can see that Pomni and Jax are fighting. And usually Pomni doesn't really stand up to Jax or fights back, but here we can see that she literally jumps on his back and she starts hitting his head and pulling on his ear. And this is a funny little scene, but what's even more interesting is this part. Jax and Pomni don't look that worried that an abstraction showed up next to them, and they discuss how they are going to continue fighting somewhere else. And Jax doesn't even think about pushing Pomni to the abstraction, although this is something that I think we would have all expected from him. And maybe this could also foreshadow how Jax and Pomni are going to have a more complicated relationship in the show. They are not exactly friends, because we can see that Pomni is careful around him, and she is often annoyed by his behavior. But in episode 4, we could see that when Jax asked her how she was doing, for a moment she forgot who she was talking to, and she started telling Jax about her day. But again, the fast food adventure challenged everybody. They had long shifts and everybody was tired, so probably this is why Jax also didn't have the the strength to bully the others. And instead we could see at the end of his shift that he even let down his facade and let us see his more vulnerable side where he looked broken. And it's really hard to guess how his character could change in the next episodes, because Gooseworks said that we're going to see the worst thing Jax has done with our own eyes, but then she also said that there are certain lines that Jax won't cross. And yeah, Jax can be cruel, but he's also struggling a lot with his own emotions, and he's not alone. The others also all have their own issues which they are struggling with, and episode 5 and 6 will explore Jax and Ragatha's struggles in depth, which I'm pretty excited for, especially since these two characters seemingly have nothing in common. But we got to realize that they actually both deal with self-doubt and insecurity. It's just that their coping mechanisms differ. And then there's also Pomni, who is the main character of the show, so I'm pretty sure that in these 2 episodes she will also have a great part besides Jax and Ragatha. Maybe it's possible that Pomni could serve as a mediator between Jax and Ragatha, because in these past few episodes we could see these two arguing pretty intensely. And now in episode 5, which is most likely going to have a sports-themed adventure, we can only guess that the competition could bring out even more frustrations from the characters. And I'm honestly really excited about this, especially because of Ragatha, because she's just so reserved and she's full of suppressed emotions, and I just want to see her exploding and letting out all frustrations she has. And I'm pretty sure that this would also be amusing to Jax to see Ragatha letting her guards down, but then things could quickly change if Ragatha channels her anger towards Jax. We cannot be sure how things will go, but based on what Gooseworks said on Tumblr, where she shared that episode 5 is gonna be the silly before the storm, we could guess that maybe episode 5 will be more on the funny side, but could still build up to episode 6, where then everything could start to go downhill. And as for when we could see episode 5, we can only guess, because besides these 2 short animations for Japan, both Glitch and Gooseworks has been pretty silent recently. But maybe this means that they are focusing on producing the next episodes, and they are most likely working on multiple ones, because I'm guessing that they would want to release episodes as quickly as possible. And episode 4 came out 2 months ago already, which is how long we had to wait for episode 4 after the October release of episode 3. But of course there might have been some delay due to the holidays in December and end of the year procedures, so maybe they only started working on animating the next episodes in January, which could mean that episode 5 could come out around April the earliest. Since we are already at the second part of February, I would guess that maybe Glitch could release new teasers about the next episode in March, which would then mean that episode 5 could release around April. And I know that animation takes a long time and we shouldn't rush them with the new episodes, but April still feels awfully far, especially since we got episodes 3 and 4 only 2 months apart of each other. But yeah, we should be patient and give room for the artists to work on the new episodes without pressure. And in the meantime, you guys still have me for banger theories and news about the show. But this is it for today. Let me know what you think about these new short animations and your thoughts about what we might see in the upcoming episodes down in the comments. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.